Hello and welcome to Time for Truth. My name's Christina and I welcome you from the Delmarva region of the United States of America, from my little home studio with my little backboard that my husband built, my little trinkets and treasures being showed off. We'll always show off a new mug from the thrift store, and this is the one today, a little smiley face, keeping it positive. We're going to start off positive, and we're going to try and keep it positive. When I decided to make this channel, it was because I was finding it very hard to remain positive, and that's not how I am or what I'm about. I like positivity, and I like the next right thing, and so this feels natural to me. And I'm sure I'm gonna get into a great vibe with this without being nervous and unsure and uncertain and not even knowing much about YouTube at all. But I'm just me. I'm been on this earth for 6 decades. I've seen some things, I've lived through some things, and I have some things to say about all that. So that's what I'm doing. So, Time for Truth. I'm Christina. Welcome to my channel. I appreciate all the supporters from other channels. When I talked about, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to open a channel. I really appreciate that. It gave me a lot of courage to keep going. And to my subscribers, thank you. And to those who responded to my original post too, because that was kind of like, just kind of testing the water, like, am I a total freak or should I do this? And then I got positive responses and that meant a lot to me, so thank you. On my channel, I hope to share with you all some stuff, vintage goods, antiques. I love thrift stores. My home decor is basically a great thrift store kind of look as I look around, and I'll be sharing that with you. I'm also going to be talking about current events with healthcare challenges, family history of dysfunction. I'm going to be talking about my own personal experiences with the medical community, not just currently, but over the years, and how it has changed, and the differences that I have seen and have experienced. My hope in sharing my experiences with all of this is that it can help somebody else not be challenged by the same silly nonsense that I experienced. So I'm going to talk about that over time. I haven't really decided how I'm going to put everything, I'm going to do one video a day. Let's just start there. And then I'll talk about some past current events so you get to know me and, what I'm about and why I might respond to things the way that I do, because I think that's important. So that people have a basis for understanding why, my decision making is the way that it is or was. And over the years, I've done a lot of work to overcome a lot of challenges in my own life. I would even go so far as to say the majority were self-inflicted. Like, I didn't even need to go through all that nonsense. Had I had better decision-making skills, and possibly a better support system, then I might have made different choices. So I've had time to reflect through sobriety of over 2 decades now, from alcohol, to really self-reflect and look at my side of the street, what part I played in it, making amends, making changes in my life so that I don't have to make those kinds of amends anymore, and now feeling like it's time to share to help somebody else who may be facing their own challenges. So the first thing that I would say about that is never give up. The light at the end of the tunnel is not always a train. Sometimes it's a lesson, and it's going to get delivered in a very hard way, but then you will remember it. So lessons matter, and they make an impact on our life. What we choose to do with the lesson is up to us. So what I've chosen to do at this point in my life is to share my experience, strength, and hope with those who might have an interest in me and my simple little life. Um, I grew up in a military family. I've lived a lot of places, seen a lot of things, traveled abroad. Um, so I think I have a pretty decent, base from which to launch some of the ideas and opinions and conclusions that I come to. Let's put it that way. So back to the positivity. How about pets? Okay, so we have two doggies, Pebbles and Bam Bam. Um, I've had dogs all my life and cats too, and I had a ferret. So we'll talk about that in one of the episodes. Her name was Schnapps, by the way, and she loved the beach. So I'm a coffee fiend, and I will be drinking coffee during my broadcast, so plan on it. Sometimes I'll spill it because the coffee cup is new, and this one has like a really thick kind of base to it. And when I say it's new used, but look how cute it is. Okay, like really. All right, so that's the mug. So what else am I going to be doing on this channel? I'm going to turn this page and say, let's see. I'm going to plan for positivity with truth. So the truth can be hard. At the end of the day, it's just the truth. I hope to do one video a day. They're not going to be long videos. They're just going to be, what's shaken, how this current situation might, bring up something that, from the past that's a new lesson about the same situation. So positivity, that's a big part of this channel. I want to share stories about growing up in a military family. I didn't know when I was growing up in a military family that it was a unique kind of situation. With some time and distance to reflect, I see now that some of the opportunities that I were given, I squandered. That some of the opportunities that I might have been given had we not been moving around, I didn't get that opportunity. So I can see it both ways. But there's lots of fun stories, and traveling is a highly recommended adventure, no matter, even if it's just with a backpack and a train ticket, which I've done. So I think exploring the world that we exist in outside of our comfort zone is also something that is really important for us to do, to challenge ourselves. Like I have anxiety about talking in public, about being here in front of a camera with my cute little studio, and even like a professional light that's over there. It's like all new to me. But that is called living and thriving within our means. What can we do to make our existence more positive for our own selves, move us in a better direction if we need to change course? So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be kind of opening up this channel to share a lot about myself, a lot of where I've been, where I come from, and even now, in the latter, let's just say middle age years, early elderly years, there's still opportunity for all of us, whatever our limitations, to open up a new avenue for growth. And that doesn't just come knocking on somebody's door, like doctors don't come knocking, and employers don't come knocking. We have to do that work ourselves. So I will share today that in addition to missing some body parts from cancer treatments, which I'm sorry if that shocks anybody, but it is the time for truth. I'm also missing some teeth after, a dentist did what he did and made an error. So I'll be talking about all of those things, about medical care or the lack thereof, the professionalism or lack thereof that I see in the industry, including dentistry. And I will very much seek to be real and authentic, because I can't be anything else. I'm just who I am. I'm a person that, by listening to others on YouTube, I learned that that was during my some of the recovery times from some of the treatments that I've been through in the last year and a half. I watched and I listened and I learned, and I heard wise words, and I heard pain and suffering, and I heard recovery and hope. I saw people go through hard times with unexpected challenges. You know, we think we're just clicking along and everything's just rolling, and then boom, something happens. And, you know, how are we prepared for that? You know, what tools do we have in our tool belt to pull out to be able to assist us to make the best choices, whatever situation comes upon us? And that's not an easy thing to just somehow inherit or purchase. No, it's only through living that we acquire these skills that enable us to then thrive. And it may not be thriving the way that some other person may want to be thriving. We're all different. But for our own personal journeys, from where we've come from and where we are now, I think it's important to take time to acknowledge that, to say, wow, you know, it's been a lot, but here I am. And I'm not a bitter old woman. You know, I don't harbor hatred. I try to take the rage that I have felt and do feel at times and keep it in proper perspective. Because to help myself, I have to do that. I have to keep things right sized. And then find a way to work within whatever the new limitations are. And I call that the new normal. What's the new normal? Because the only constant in life is that everything changes. So I had to first recognize that, and then accept it, and then live and thrive within that concept. And I have done that. And I've done it successfully, with a lot of tears, a lot of failures, a lot of grins and cheers and smiles. You know, again, you know, the positivity matters. We have to choose how we are going to conduct ourselves and how we are going to allow our emotions to impact not only ourselves but those around us. So when I talk about keeping my own side of the street clean, that's what I do these days, because I didn't always do that. So I'll be talking about those kinds of topics on this channel. I'll be sharing a lot about myself, and also how I hope to grow within this channel. What this channel might mean for me for, you know, like online sales even. Maybe if somebody likes something that I show, you know, as far as a vintage camera, you know, I'm going to show things around my home that I have collected, because I do have collections. I have collections of old perfume glass bottles. I have collections of cameras, different styles, old cameras, new cameras, Russian cameras. So you know, maybe that would be something that I would move into, is selling some things. But mostly, I'm just interested to share what is happening for me in my life, because it is still happening. Like every breath I take, life is still happening. So I have to be a part of it, and I have to participate, and I want to be able to do so by making good choices for myself, and hopefully the choices that I've made that I'm going to share with everybody on my channel. I'm going to consider you my sunflowers. Just look at my banner. You're my audience of sunflowers. That's how I see you. Then I believe that by being real, that you can be real back with me, and that builds community, right? So I look for feedback on how my audio is coming through. My husband and I did a lot of testing with the lights, some back shadowing. I would love feedback on how that is coming through for you on your computer. Also the sound, because I did get a mic, but then we thought, wow, the acoustics in this room, because it's upstairs and it's angled and my husband built it out and it's really nicely insulated, um, that maybe we don't need the mic. So if you all can give me some feedback about that, I would really appreciate it, because a big part of what I'm doing is for your viewing pleasure. I don't want to be shocking, like I'm going to try and tell people, like I'm going to talk about, for instance, witnessing something traumatic, and I'll be a little more specific during that broadcast before I just like throw it out there. So, because there will be some shocking discussions, there will be some topics that may bring up some old issues for my viewers, and I want to be empathetic to that and be compassionate. But I also believe that the hard truths are necessary, and that it is up to ourselves to work out and sort through our own feelings. So I will let everybody know that also I'm going to start each episode with a quote that I find that day, or at some point already have. I'm thinking of one right now that I'm going to read as a note of positivity. And I'm going to probably end each of my broadcasts by saying, happy trails. Thank you for stopping by. It really means a lot to me, because I really need this outlet right now to talk about the things that have happened and to express how that has affected me. And I think that it's important for us to, as a community, all of us, to be able to share what is truly happening, because I think it can help those who are struggling to find that little spark to jump up and say, hey, you know what? I think I'm ready for a smile. So please do stop back by. I would love to have you. I'm going to be talking about the ladies who inspired me while I was watching their YouTube channels. I'm going to be talking about how their channels have influenced my own channel, and how their authenticity and truth telling gave me the courage to do it myself too. So again, I'm Christina, and my channel is Time for Truth. I don't know much about YouTube, but I'm learning. Again, I look for feedback. Criticism is fine. I'll sort my feelings. It'll be fine. Lighting, sound, and then any other input that you have, I'd love to hear it. Thank you for stopping by and spending your time with me. It matters to me, and I hope that you get something positive from this little broadcast and my little channel. So with that, I'll bid everybody happy trails.